Now that you have a better understanding of the different role players in service, in this lesson we're going to take a look at duties and checklists in service, as well as the importance of teamwork. By now you know that everyone in the restaurant has a role to play to ensure that the guest has an excellent experience during their time with you. Offering exceptional service is no small undertaking. It requires an eye for the finest detail, as well as attention to the way these details come together to form the bigger picture. And in order to make it happen, everyone in the team needs to work together. So we know there's a lot to be done before service. But imagine if everyone just did whatever they wanted or whatever they thought was important. Nothing would ever get done. That's why we have checklists that break tasks down into everything that needs to be done, down to the finest detail. A checklist is a list of things to do, and every time you do one of those things on that list, you check it off the list and move on to the next task. They aren't there to baby you. Rather, by having everything listed, checklists ensure three things: certainty, consistency, and accountability. Let's take a closer look at these 3 points. Have you ever gone into the grocery store without a shopping list? Sure, it's fine if you only have 1 or 2 things to remember. But when doing a big shop and having to remember everything you need, chances are you'll forget something if you don't have a list. Imagine getting home and realizing you forgot to buy toothpaste. You could have stinky breath for days. But if you have a list of everything you need, you can be certain that you remember everything. If you have a list and you're shopping with a buddy, you can also halve the list and split up in the store, taking half the time to get all the groceries. The same is true for service. By having a checklist, you can divide the work between the team and check off tasks as you do them, providing you and your supervisor with certainty that they were done. If you enjoy Coca-Cola, you know that every time you crack open a can, it will taste exactly the same. This is consistency. If a Coke tasted delicious at some times and terrible at others, you would probably stop drinking it altogether. Now, if your establishment sometimes provided amazing table settings and sometimes extremely poor, unprepared settings, or beautiful settings on one table and a bad table setting on another, guests probably wouldn't come back to your establishment. Excellent service means that every detail should be consistently excellent. Excellent every time. And this is what checklists do for us. Because we use the one checklist to set every table, for example, they ensure that each table setting is of the same quality. By using checklists for all preparation, the service you provide will consistently be of the highest standard, both within a service and every time a guest returns. Checklists ensure that your supervisor knows that you know what you need to do, because a checklist outlines exactly the tasks that you are responsible for. It also means that if things don't get done, you can be held accountable or responsible for that. Staff must be held accountable because if someone doesn't play their part, it means that a colleague will need to step in and do it. Or even worse, the guest might be left without something they need during service. Rather, by completing and ticking off every task on your checklist, you'll be 100% certain, as will your supervisor, that everything is ready for great service. So to recap, can you remember the 3 reasons why we have checklists? Write them down quickly. You should have certainty, consistency, and accountability. Well done if you got all 3. If you understand why we use checklists, you're well on your way to ticking all the boxes for exceptional service.